high winds here in Seminole County, severe flooding, and even the potential of some tornadoes. So we are very, very carefully protecting our community, our critical infrastructures in preparation for a very severe storm. As of today, government closures have occurred in all of our municipalities and county government. Our landfill today remains open until 5:30 p.m. for yard waste and garbage. People can bring that by for no fee whatsoever. This will be the last day of garbage collection. This will be the last day of garbage collection. If it is not picked up today, If it is not picked up today, we ask that you secure your yard waste so it does not become a flying missile during the event. We were hoping to pick up all yard debris, but there was just so much out there, our haulers could not get to all of it in time. So please secure your yard waste. If it's out in front and we can't get to it, please secure it until after the event. Our sandbag operations continue until 6 p.m. tonight, and they will close at that time. We've had sandbag operations open since Saturday, and so far have given out over 200,000 sandbags here in Seminole County. That is the most sandbags we've given out in front of a hurricane for over a decade. This event is unprecedented. It is not like Hurricane Irma. It is not like Hurricane Ian. It is not even like Hurricane Charlie. This is going to be a very strong hurricane, but the hurricane is going to last for a while, so we need to be prepared for that. In anticipation of the hurricane, we are opening 8 shelters tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock here in Seminole County. 3 of those will be special needs, and the rest will be general population shelters. Our special needs shelters are at Bentley Elementary School, Highlands Elementary School, and Lair Elementary School. Our general population shelters are here at Lyman High School, at Crystal Lake Elementary School, Midway Elementary School, Winter Springs High School, and Childs Middle School. All of those are available on our website. You can also call our Citizens Information Hotline if you have any questions, 407-665-0000 for more information. Teams are here setting up the shelter. The shelter's pretty much set up for the general population here at Lyman High School. We are still setting up the pet-friendly section of this shelter right now. The exact locations, again, are on Prepare Seminole, the Seminole website, so you can go to the Seminole website and get information on the shelters. Now, I want you to kind of look behind me here in the room, and you will see that there are spaces that are mapped out here, and this is the spaces. These are the spaces that are provided at a general population shelter. So we are asking people to bring change of clothing, bedding material, anything to make themselves comfortable. If it's a group of a family of 4 or 5, we'll put folks together. So you'll have a little bit of a larger space in that particular case, but you need to bring things with you. We will provide meals here for you, but comfort food, things like that, very important. If you have children, bring games, toys, books, things to keep them interested while the storm is passing by. Shelters are last resort. They are not glamorous. They are not cruise ships. This is a lifeboat. So if you do need to come to a shelter, the accommodations are not like a cruise ship, but we will do our best to make sure that you are as comfortable as possible. If you are coming to one of our pet-friendly shelters, please bring a crate for your animal. Please bring the medical records for your animal, food, maybe a toy, a special thing that maybe the cat or dog enjoys, the clothing, sometimes the bedding makes them more comfortable because they can, the scent. So please bring those things with you to the pet-friendly shelters. It is now a time to register. If you have not registered, now's the last opportunity to register for special needs, so please do that by going online to our website or by calling our 1-800 number. Dr. Johnson for the Florida Department of Health will talk about special needs shelters in just a moment. If you need transportation assistance, please call our Citizens Information Hotline. We are providing transportation assistance to the pet-friendly shelter as well as the general population shelter. So call that Citizens Information Hotline, 407-665-0000, so we can get that transportation scheduled for you for tomorrow morning. Post-disaster is something very important to think about right now. So after Hurricane Charlie, those that were around Central Florida know that there's going to be major power outage. In Irma, it was 75%. That wasn't a hurricane. So expect 80 to 90% of the power here in Seminole County to be out. Expect that to be out for weeks, not days. So that's something to think about. Flooding is going to be a concern for this event, so flooding along the St. Johns River as well as localized flooding along those tributaries, so think about that as well. As power goes out, it's important to think about if you do need to get on the road, and I know the Sheriff's going to talk about this in just a moment, how do you to travel safely through the community, so please think about that as well. We would not be able to do this without our wonderful partners at the Florida Department of Health and the Sheriff's Office, and specifically the school board. The school board provides staffing at each one of our shelters to support folks here at the general population shelter. We just have I have a wonderful relationship with our superintendent, Sarita Beeman, and she has been such a wonderful blessing, and I would like to ask her to come up and talk a little bit about the school board and some of the things that they're doing.
Thank you, Mr. Harris. Before I begin my update, I too want to say to the hardworking men and women in emergency management, law enforcement, and our own SCPS staff members who are working around the clock to prepare our campuses to serve our community with sheltering. We are grateful for you and grateful for your service. So to those who are providing needed transportation, testing generators, securing our property, preparing meals, and all the other essential functions that have to happen in order for us to staff and help our community members weather this storm, we thank you. As for schools, all after-school activities, facility rentals, and child care programs are canceled as of today through the remainder of this week. SCPS schools are closed on Wednesday through Friday, October 9th through the 11th. So that is additional information from our last update. We are now going to be closed on Friday. And as a reminder to our parents, SCPS had a previously scheduled non-student attendance day for Monday. So at this time, we are expecting schools to resume for students on Tuesday, October 15th. On Friday and over the weekend, we will have our teams out assessing our campuses for damage, and then we will update our families as needed. We'll be communicating with families, students, and staff on our website, our district website. We will utilize School Messenger, which will send updates via phone, text, and email. So please continue to look at all of those avenues as well as social media, our social media platforms, for updated information. But schools closed Wednesday through Friday. And next, we will have Dr. Johnson to come up. He is our health officer for Seminole counties to provide additional information.
Good afternoon. The Seminole County Health Department, nurses and staff operate the special needs shelters in our community. Special needs shelters provide shelter for residents who are medically dependent on electricity, require medical cots during sheltering, and require possibly limited nursing, monitoring, or assistance. Medical staff will be present at our special needs shelters. However, we strongly encourage you to bring along your caregiver with you. As mentioned earlier, special needs shelters should be considered as a last option, not a first option. But if you do need to come into one of our shelters, be sure to remember your medications and any medical support equipment such as walkers, wheelchairs, or oxygen, your caregiver, personal hygiene items, and any sleep clear blankets, pillows to make yourself comfortable. Food is provided at these shelters, but keep in mind if you have any special dietary needs, you should bring that along with you as well. And also, as mentioned, if you haven't done so already, to pre-register for the special needs shelter, please visit prepareseminole.org, or you can call the Citizens Information Line 407-665-0000. And now we will have Sheriff Limo.
Thank you, Dr. Johnson, and I want to thank the superintendent for, of course, opening these wonderful school campuses with all the first staff and support personnel, and of course, Alan for his coordination. This is the time. The storm is still approaching. Many people may be at home right now trying to make that decision. Do I stay? Do I go? It's always better if you're debating that option, just go be around, go to one of the shelters. As you can see, not only will we provide security and safety is from the storm, and we're going to have police officers and deputy sheriffs at every one of these locations. Actually, 4 police officers or 4 deputy sheriffs that are going to be at every one of our shelters around the clock 24 hours. And they're going to be there not only to provide safety and security, but they're going to be able to relay to you what's going on out in the community. We'll have deputies on the road. They'll be in communication with deputies on the road. You may have concerns about flooding or what the storm is doing in your area or when it's safe to go back. So please make those decisions now, and we'll be here to assist you. As you're making those decisions, you're gathering your items, you're thinking about going to the shelter, I want to remind you to bring your ID to the shelter. One of the things that will happen is when you arrive at the shelter, everyone will be checked just to make sure that the people that are coming to the shelters don't have a background that may be concerning to others. We do have a shelter for those that have been adjudicated. They have been convicted of a crime in the past, particularly sex offenders. We have a sheriff's office run shelter if you are a registered sexual offender and are looking for somewhere to find shelter. We do have that at our sheriff's office main building, main headquarters, our criminal justice center. We don't want people with that type of background coming into our shelters, and we will be checking. So come with your ID. We want to make sure that everyone is safe and comfortable when you arrive. Also understand that there'll come a point, the time on it changes, and of course we're watching the storm of the early morning hours, probably a Thursday morning, where it will be too late for you to get on the road and then relocate to a shelter. So the time to relocate is probably now and a good portion of tomorrow before the weather gets really, really bad. Make those decisions, have that plan, because if your plan is, if my roof feels like it's going to come off, or my garage door gets pulled away, or my carport or a tree falls down, that's not the time to be getting in the car, getting on the roadways. I do want to remind everyone, because we're going to have power outage. Many of the traffic signals, we will have at least a major traffic signals running on generator power, but there'll be some that are not running on generator power. And for the average motorist, especially if you're driving at nighttime, it's hard to remember what intersections actually normally had a traffic signal. So go incredibly slow, be mindful of what's going on, and if you come up to an intersection that does not have an active signal, treat that as a four-way stop. Not last message here, and not being the party police, because if you are over the age of 21, you are able to make your own decisions, but I will caution you. It's typically this time where you see hurricanes coming. People will get on social media. They'll talk about hurricane party and buying a bunch of alcohol and drink. Should an emergency occur wherever you stay, whether it's in your home, whether it's with family members, or if you relocate to a shelter, should an emergency arise, you don't want to be intoxicated during that time. So again, I'll just caution you, if you're over 21, you can make your own decisions. But this is a storm that we don't want to play around with. We want to be safe, we want to be secure, and we want to be as accommodating as we possibly can. Members of the Sheriff's Office and our partnering police agencies, all 7 agencies here in Seminole County, will have representatives on their team out patrolling the streets and then providing security for any shelter that may fall within their jurisdiction.
All right, thank you, Sheriff. Just to reiterate, shelters won't open until 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. Please don't go to the schools tonight. They will not be open this evening. We will open them at 8 in the morning. We will be issuing an evacuation order expected at 8 o'clock in the morning. That will be for low-lying areas, flood-prone areas, mobile and manufactured homes, and persons with special needs. So that executive order will be signed at 8 o'clock in the morning. An alert will go out, and the shelters will open. Are there any questions?
Can you be more specific about what pets people can bring to a pet friendly?
Sure, that's a great question. So we actually allow just about every pet as long as you bring an aquarium, a pen, a crate. So we've had everything from hermit crabs to snakes to iguanas to birds to, in fact, we normally get a rundown of all the different animals and just about every animal. We haven't had a mini horse yet, but if we have one, we'll try to accommodate it. So I hope we don't get a run on mini horses based on that question, but we'll try to accommodate any type of household pet.
So for years ago, there were so many houses that they had floodings that it has never happened. So now this time with that information that they have in the past, were there any concerns specific with these areas like the Iowa Spring, River, or down there, like there was more communication, more activity present with them?
Yes, so we are monitoring some areas that are more, or at least what we saw was flooding concerns during Hurricane Ian. Of course, that was a historic flood. So G Creek, Howell Creek, Little Econ, the Little Kaiva River, those basins are all of concern to us, so we are monitoring those very closely. I know the law enforcement, the Sheriff's Office has specialized vehicles to get back in there as well as the fire department. So we are quite comfortable in making sure that we can get back there. When we respond back there, it needs to be a safe time for us to do that there. So there could be a window where we really can't respond because the wind is so high. So in an emergency critical situation, we may be able to do that, but for lower level cases, it would be after those winds pass by. But we feel relatively comfortable. We will be able to get into any type of flood, whether it's a boat, we use one of those high flood vehicles. We're gonna find a way to get to you.
So again, just to clarify, the order means that if they choose to remain, they can expect no 911 response.
Yeah, we issued these orders because of public safety concerns. So the winds right now, the wind field will be damaging to mobile and manufactured homes. We know that there is a high likelihood based on the National Hurricane Center, the Southeast River Forecast Center, National Weather Service. All of the hydrologists are saying 12 up to 15 inches of rain on top of the rain that we've already received over the last few weeks. That puts us in the Hurricane Ian level. So those are concerns for us. So if you flooded out before, you may want to think about going to a shelter. And then, of course, we know power is going to be out, persons with special needs that require electricity to run medical devices. That's obviously a concern for us. All right, then I'd like to ask Myrna to come up and do a Spanish translation for us. Thank you for always doing that for us. Appreciate it.
En resumen de la conferencia de prensa del condado Seminole, habló primeramente el director de manejo de emergencias, Alan Harris. Él mencionó que el condado está terminando sus preparativos para el huracán Milton. Comenzando hoy, las oficinas del gobierno están cerradas. El vertedero permanece abierto hasta las 5:30 de la tarde hoy y para las personas que necesitan llevar su basura. Hoy fue el último día también, el de recogido de basura, y aquella basura que no fue recogida, le exhortamos a que asegure esa basura para que no vaya a salir volando, ¿verdad?, con los vientos. También nuestras localizaciones para recogido de arena van a ser abiertas hoy hasta las 6 de la tarde. Han estado abiertas desde el sábado para darle bastante tiempo a las personas que se preparen. Ya se han distribuido sobre 200,000 bolsas de arena aquí en el condado Seminole. Tenemos 8 refugios que abrirán mañana a las 8 de la mañana, y esos son para la población en general: Lyman High School, Crystal Lake Elementary School, Midway Elementary School, Winter Springs High School y Childs Middle School. También para necesidades especiales serán Bentley Elementary School, Layer Elementary School y Highlands. Son las escuelas que servirán como refugio. Y el listado puede encontrarse en prepareseminole.org y en nuestros medios sociales. Recuerde traer lo que necesita para los refugios, para usted y para su familia, y también para las mascotas que va a llevar. Todavía hay tiempo para registrarse para los refugios de necesidades especiales si todavía no lo ha hecho, y para hacerlo pueden llamar al 407-665-0000. Si usted necesita transportación también para los refugios, llame al 407-665-0000. Luego habló la superintendente de escuelas públicas del condado Seminole, Serita Beeman, y ella agradeció a los trabajadores excepcionales, a los hombres y las mujeres del manejo de emergencias y de diferentes agencias, incluyendo el personal de las escuelas, que han trabajado preparando las escuelas para servir a la comunidad como refugio. Ella mencionó que hoy las actividades y eventos después de la escuela y el Kids Zone y Beyond y 21st Century han sido canceladas, así que todas las actividades después de la escuela han sido canceladas. Las escuelas están cerradas desde mañana miércoles hasta las viernes, y como recordatorio, las escuelas de Seminole tenían un día festivo ya pautado para el lunes 14 de octubre, así que los estudiantes regresarán a la escuela el martes 15 de octubre. El personal estará evaluando durante el fin de semana las escuelas para cualquier daño. Se comunicarán también con familiares, estudiantes y el personal por teléfono, texto, correo electrónico y por su página de internet. Luego, el Departamento de Salud, el director del Departamento de Salud, Dr. Ethan Johnson, habló de que las enfermeras y el personal del Departamento de Salud del condado Seminole operan los refugios para necesidades especiales. Los refugios para necesidades especiales brindan refugio a los residentes que tienen una condición médica y equipo médico que depende de electricidad, que requieren catres médicos y que pueden necesitar supervisión o asistencia de enfermería limitada. Aunque hay personal médico presente, se solicita a las personas que cuiden aquellos que cuidan, ¿verdad?, a estas personas que van a ir al refugio, que vayan con ellos, que los acompañen. O sea, que debe ir la persona más su cuidador. Un refugio para necesidades especiales debe usarse como último recurso y no como la primera opción. Si necesita unirse a nosotros en uno de los refugios, recuerde llevar sus medicamentos y equipo de apoyo médico, como andadores, oxígeno o sillos de rueda, un cuidador, artículos de higiene personal y artículos para dormir. Se proporcionará comida en los refugios. Sin embargo, si usted tiene alguna necesidad dietética específica, traiga esos alimentos con usted. Las personas que desean registrarse de nuevo o necesitan información sobre los refugios, llamen al 407-665-0000 o pueden visitar prepareseminole.org. Y por último, Sheriff Dennis Lima mencionó que si usted está debatiendo si salir de su casa, ¿verdad?, si evacuar o quedarse allí, es mejor salir a tiempo. Es mejor ya mañana, durante el día, cuando los refugios abran, que usted pueda llegar allí, porque va a haber un momento que ya no se puede salir de las casas. Habrán deputies en los refugios también, por seguridad, y también recordó que usted lleve su identificación al refugio. Después de la tormenta, y si no hay luz, ¿verdad?, electricidad y los semáforos no están funcionando, trátelos como una vía, un pare de 4 vías. Así que si no hay electricidad, ya sabe las medidas que debe tomar y tenga mucho cuidado en las carreteras. Esto ha sido todo por el resumen. Manténgase seguros y muchísimas gracias.